To tell you, that right hook of the, just pay attention to that shot. He's going to try to set up that.
Hear those body shots, Timmy. Nice combination there.
It's going to be the body work.
You see now, 30.
There's only so long you do that for. He might be just coming out here. Hey, if I can get the knockout, I will, but otherwise, I'm not meant to be here for 10 rounds.
Good combination of punches, culminating with those left hands to the body.
Punch, but it's very precise. Nice hooks.
Beautiful work.
From gearing up for a massive showdown to suddenly being left without an opponent, Naoya Inoue's 2025 plans just hit a major roadblock. The reigning undisputed super bantamweight champion was all set to defend his throne, but negotiations with his WBC mandatory challenger Alan Picasso have completely fallen apart. And just like that, the monster is on the hunt for a new challenger. So, what happened? Why did Picasso back out? Well, depending on who you ask, you'll get a different story. According to Hideyuki Ohashi of Ohashi Boxing Gym, Picasso's father pulled the plug on the fight. But if you check out reports from Marca, boxing legend Eric Morales actually advised Picasso that he wasn't quite ready to step into the ring with Inoue just yet. And honestly, that makes sense. Going up against a knockout machine like Inoue when you're not fully confident is just a recipe for disaster. Boxing journalist Salvador Rodriguez took to X to announce that the fight is officially off. In his post, Rodriguez confirmed that the bout is no longer happening and hinted at a new opponent for Inoue. According to his sources, former unified champion Murodjon Akhmadaliev is now being targeted for May, while Ramon Cardenas could be next in line for a September showdown in Japan. Salvador Rodriguez posted, "Not only is it shaky, the Inoue versus Picasso fight is officially off. Sources tell me that Murodjon is set for May and Cardenas for September in Japan. We'll see quotation mark." Now, this puts Inoue in a bit of a tricky situation. He planned to have a busy 2025 with 4 fights, but with Picasso out of the picture, he needs a new dance partner fast. According to Salvador Rodriguez, 3 names are being thrown around as possible replacements: Ramon Cardenas, Murodjon Akhmadaliev, and Brian Mercado. But out of all of them, the one making the biggest waves is Akhmadaliev. Reports now suggest that he's the frontrunner for Inoue's next bout on May 4th, while Cardenas might get a shot in September. And honestly, Akhmadaliev is the best possible choice. A former unified champion with a solid resume, he's got the skill set to at least make things interesting. If Inoue takes him out, it's going to be nearly impossible for anyone to argue that he hasn't cleaned out the 122-pound division. That would leave just one final mega fight on the horizon, a showdown with Junto Nakatani. But for that to happen, Nakatani needs to unify the bantamweight division first. A former unified champion at 122 pounds, Akhmadaliev isn't just another name in the division. He held both the IBF and WBA super bantamweight titles before losing them to Marlon Tapales in a razor-close split decision. This guy has real experience at the top level, and his aggressive style, power, and ability to take a shot make him a much tougher test than most of Inoue's recent opponents. Akhmadaliev has also proven that he can go the distance in high-stakes fights. He's got solid footwork, strong combinations, and knows how to adapt mid-fight. But the real question is, can he handle Inoue's insane speed and knockout power? Because let's be honest, once the monster smells blood, it's usually game over. If this fight happens, Akhmadaliev will need to bring the absolute best version of himself just to survive, let alone win.
Inoue, stop ducking me. One fight, Uzbek power coming. Let's go, champ.
And he isn't just staying silent while talks of a potential fight with Naoya Inoue heat up. In fact, he's already sending a message loud and clear. In a recent statement, Akhmadaliev called out Inoue directly, saying, "Inoue, stop ducking me. One fight, Uzbek power coming. Let's go, champ." That's a bold challenge from the former unified champion, making it clear that he wants the fight and believes he has what it takes to shake up the division. Akhmadaliev has never been the type to shy away from a challenge, and he's making sure the world knows he's ready for war.
4 rounds, he's let those power punches be more of a factor. And I'll tell you what.
Oh, good body shot!
Well set up.
He was walking to his corner like, is that all right?
Nah.
Let's see how he set this up nicely.
Bing, bing,
Uppercut and boom.
bong.
Again, we talked about that, how that uppercut set up the body shot.
Look, yeah.
Now, if for some reason Akhmadaliev doesn't get the fight, Ramon Cardenas is another name floating around. While he's not as accomplished as Akhmadaliev, Cardenas has been grinding his way up the rankings, putting together solid performances and making a name for himself in the super bantamweight scene. He's got a respectable record, but let's be real, he'd be a massive underdog against Inoue. His best shot would be to come in with a rock-solid game plan and hope that he can disrupt Inoue's rhythm early.
Ya se quieren pelear con el gallo. Si pudieran estar a mi altura, pues tendrían que pasar muchos años.
Then there's Brian Mercado. Out of the three, he's probably the least experienced at the highest level, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't give it his all. Mercado is a heavy-handed puncher who loves to mix it up on the inside, but against a calculated destroyer like Inoue, that's a risky game to play. If he gets the opportunity, it's likely going to be a short night with an explosive ending. Either he pulls off the upset of a lifetime, or he ends up another highlight on Inoue's already insane knockout reel. But hold on, there's another name that could shake things up in a huge way. While Inoue is focused on taking over the 122-pound division, Gervonta Tank Davis has been talking about this fight too. And let's be real, if there's one matchup that would get the whole boxing world buzzing, it's Inoue versus Tank. Davis, a multi-weight world champion with crazy knockout power, has never backed down from a challenge. He's been a beast at 130, 135, and 140 pounds. But now, there's talk of him dropping to 122 or meeting Inoue at a catch weight. And why not? This fight would be huge. Two undefeated stars, both with highlight reel knockouts, both dangerous in the ring.
I know it might sound crazy, but you brought up Inoue. Like, do you foresee potentially at some day you guys meeting together, maybe at a catch weight, or maybe if he keeps going up in weight?
Probably.
Yeah.
That would be like a fun fight.
Be crazy.
Yeah, that would be a fun. Now that would be technical. That fight right there, like me and him. But I think I'd be too big for him.
Probably, yeah, because he's
I'd be too big
22,
for
yeah.
him. Yeah. But that fight would be like,
it's like a dream fight.
Yeah.
When asked about it, Tank didn't rule it out. Probably, yeah. That would be a fun fight, he said. But he also admitted, I'd be too big for him, probably. And that's the big question. Could Tank really make 122? He's fought as low as 130, but dropping all the way to 122? That's a tough cut. And even if he could do it, would he still have the same power? Because let's be real, Inoue isn't just winning, he's dominating. He's got speed, accuracy, footwork, and knockout power that puts guys to sleep. Tank knows it too. When talking about the matchup, he said, that fight would be like a dream. And honestly, that's exactly what it feels like right now. A dream fight. Inoue's camp is known for its grueling sparring sessions. He often brings in bigger fighters to simulate power shots coming his way, forcing him to sharpen his defensive reflexes. His legendary hand speed isn't just genetic, it's trained. High-speed pad work, explosive plyometric drills, and reaction-based exercises make sure his hands move faster than his opponents can react. And then there's his mindset. Inoue is obsessed with perfecting his craft. He studies his opponents meticulously, breaking down their habits and weaknesses to exploit in the ring. It's this level of preparation that makes him so dangerous. He doesn't just hit hard, he knows exactly where and when to land his punches for maximum damage. That's why opponents often look lost against him. They don't just get hit, they get broken down systematically. With each win, Inoue is making the super bantamweight division look like his personal playground, and that has consequences. Some fighters want the challenge, but others, they're staying far, far away. At some point, Inoue might run out of worthy challengers at 122 pounds, and when that happens, a move to featherweight 126 pounds could be next. But would he still be as dominant at a higher weight? The jump from 118 to 122 was smooth for him because his power carried over, but 126 is a different game. Fighters are bigger, stronger, and able to take more punishment. Guys like Ray Vargas, Rabezi Ramirez, or Brandon Figueroa could pose serious challenges.
That's wild. Hey, look up this young fighter called the Monster. You ever hear Monster?
No.
Japanese fighter called Monster. This is a monster.
Crazy dude.
Yeah, let's check him out, man. Ikuki, what's his name?
This guy, Naoya.
Yeah, let's look at some of his fights. He's a mean fella.
Where's he fight?
He's a Japanese, 118 pounds. But wow, he was like 108.
Boxing?
He's a mean son of a bitch. Oh yeah, you see this bad motherfucker. He don't look like much. He's better than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was little like that. Just as good.
He looks like a fucking pop star.
Oh, wait till he get on these mother.
Even legends recognize greatness, and Mike Tyson is no exception. When talking about Naoya Inoue, Tyson couldn't hold back his excitement. Hey, look up this young fighter called the Monster. You ever hear of him? He said, hyping up Inoue to those who might not know him. As he watched Inoue's fights, Tyson was blown away, calling him a crazy dude and a mean fellow. He even went as far as to say, he's better than Manny Pacquiao, man. He's vicious. That's high praise coming from Iron Mike, who has seen and fought some of the best in the sport. Recognizing Inoue's power and skill, Tyson made it clear that this Japanese superstar isn't just good, he's something special. And for him, while a fight against Gervonta Davis would be massive internationally, there's another showdown brewing that could be just as big in Japan. Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. Nakatani is an absolute beast in his own right. He's got serious height and reach advantages, standing at 5 feet 8 inches with a long frame compared to Inoue's 5 feet 5 inches. He also fights at a rangier pace, using movement and angles to break opponents down. But make no mistake, this guy can crack. His knockout win over Andrew Maloney in 2023 was brutal, and he's been stopping top-tier competition ever since. If Nakatani unifies the bantamweight division in 2025, an all-Japanese super fight with Inoue could be the biggest fight in the country's boxing history. It would be a classic matchup, Inoue's power and precision versus Nakatani's reach and tactical movement. Talking about Nakatani, he seems all geared up for the fight as well, but he knows the road to that fight isn't simple. Speaking about this potential matchup, Nakatani knows that facing Inoue is a big goal for him, but made it clear that there is still a lot of work to do to get there.
もちろん一つの目標、大きいビッグマッチとして見据えてる戦いではあるので、そこに向けてまだまだやることがたくさんあるなっていうふうには思ってます。もちろん
Still, he understands exactly what a win over the Monster would mean for his career. Beating Inoue would bring me a lot of recognition, he said. But for Nakatani, it's about more than just beating a champion. It's about becoming the best in the world. My goal is to become the pound-for-pound #1, he stated. This would be a huge fight to move toward that. If this fight really happens, it would be one of the biggest matchups in Japanese boxing history. Both Inoue and Nakatani are undefeated champions, and a clash between them would be a true test of skill, power, and legacy. Inoue has already dominated multiple weight classes, while Nakatani is hungry to prove himself against the best. When Bob Arum was asked what fight he's most eager to make in 2025, Arum didn't hesitate. A lot of big fights, he said. I mean, I think the biggest fight if Inoue keeps winning, matching him with Nakatani in the Tokyo Dome. Arum isn't just talking about a big event. Here he's envisioning something truly massive. We could sell out the Tokyo Dome 5 times over, he added. I mean, that's a huge fight.
There's a lot of big fights. I mean, I think the biggest fight, if Inoue keeps winning, matching him with Nakatani in the Tokyo Dome, we could sell out.
Beyond just legacy, Inoue's future fights are a gold mine waiting to happen. His popularity in Japan is skyrocketing, and internationally, he's finally getting the recognition he deserves. If he fights Gervonta Davis, it could easily be a pay-per-view blockbuster, especially in the US. A fight like that could generate millions, given that both are undefeated knockout artists with huge fan bases. The crossover appeal would be massive. Davis brings in American viewers, while Inoue pulls in the Japanese audience. Right now, the immediate focus is locking in the next opponent. With Alan Picasso's fight officially cancelled, all eyes are on who steps up next. Akhmadaliev seems to be the frontrunner, but after that, the possibilities are endless. Does Inoue move up? Does he take on Nakatani in an all-Japanese showdown? Or does Gervonta Davis actually make the weight and give fans a dream matchup? The options are exciting, and whatever comes next is bound to shake up the boxing world. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.